Hello everybody, welcome. This is a class in my Around the World in 80 Days series, and today we're going to be looking at India, a really diverse and interesting country. We're going to be learning some big facts about it, practicing our reading skills, practicing our pronunciation skills, learning some vocabulary, and having a talk about an interesting place. So if you're interested in coming to this class, I believe that there are a few slots left, so do come along in. Should be some great practice and some great fun. So before we start, for us to arrive and let you know about some important stuff, there are two pages that you might want to check out when you have some spare time. These are my verbal teacher page. The Facebook page is used for connecting with students, writing notes, leaving extra resources, commenting, typical stuff that you do on Facebook, but related to Verbling, and especially related to my classes or anything that happens in them. My Verbling teacher page, on the other hand, is a bit more informative in that you can find out more details. So you can find out about me as a teacher. You can check out what classes I've got coming up to see whether any of them interest you. If you click on the blue follow button, then you can follow me, and then you'll automatically receive notifications of my classes. That can be handy. It also shows you my calendar, so if you're interested in taking any private tutoring sessions, then you can see whether I'm free at the same time as you. If not, do write me a message because we can normally organize something between us. If you do want to get in touch with me for any reason, then you can also send me a message via that messaging feature on my Verbling teacher page. So, as I said before, today's lesson is Around the World in 80 Days, and today we're going to be discussing India. So let's see who we've got with us. First of all, we have Anton. Good afternoon. It's afternoon for me. What is it for you?
4 a.m.
Okay, good, very early morning.
Yeah, something like that.
How are you, Anton? You must
Uh,
have
uh,
insomnia, or you're the world's most dedicated student.
no, I just woke up very late.
You woke up very early,
No,
or
late.
you went
That's
you went
why
to
I'm
bed
not
late.
sleeping.
Oh, okay. So you woke up very late, like yesterday, and
Yeah,
now.
yesterday.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So you're nocturnal basically now, Anton.
Yeah.
All right. How's it going? How's the studying going?
I think it's fine.
Good. Excellent. It's nice to see you anyway, even if it is the middle
Thank
of
you.
the day. You're still alert.
Thank you.
Right. Who else do we have? We have John Carlo.
Hello, Amy. I'm
Hello.
Giancarlo.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Have we met before?
Yes, sure. I am Giancarlo from Mexico. Do you remember me?
I do, I do. Sometimes it's hard to remember without a visual. I don't remember your picture. Did you change your picture?
I changed it some days ago for that reason.
Ah, okay. That looks like I'm a very visual.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Mm, Probably some technical problems, teacher.
Amy.
Anybody here?
Yes, I'm waiting for the teacher. There are two Emmys.
Hello? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. Oh, that drives me crazy when it happens. Have to try and stay calm. Okay. Giancarlo, I'm sorry. I disappeared. I was ejected from the class. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, perfectly well, Amy.
Excellent. Now, I was in the middle of saying hi to you and asking you how your studying was going.
Well, excellent is okay. Everything is good here in Mexico. So I've been taking classes. I stopped taking classes 2 weeks ago, Amy, because I took my holidays, my
Ah, good.
vacations.
Where did you go?
I
Anywhere?
rested a little. I rested a little bit. Well, I visited different places here in Mexico City. In Mexico, I mean, I went to Cuernavaca. That's a beautiful hot place. Another place, Puebla. Many cathedrals, many churches there in Puebla, and that's all. But it was fantastic. I rested a lot. I took some massages. I took some therapy. Amy, are you there? Or you you are gone again? Okay, okay. Let's wait.
Hi.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
very frustrating. I'm sorry, Giancarlo. I'm going to say hi to Joseph now. I don't know what's happening. Second time in 2 minutes. Joseph, how are you today?
Hi, Amy. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. How is your studying going?
Well, I'm practicing my listening skills. I wanna improve my skill of listening. Hi, again. Hi.
years since Rwanda's genocide, cyber saber-rattling with China, and a survivalist convention. Good morning. This is the New York Times Minute. This week marks 20 years since Rwanda's 1994 genocide. Remembrance celebrations could be marred after comments from Rwandan President Paul Kagame. He claimed that the French, quote, participated in planning for the genocide.
Nous ne pouvons avoir une relation confiante et amicale avec le Rwanda que dès lors qu'elles sont fondées sur la vérité et sur la réconciliation.
Great powers have great responsibilities.
The Obama administration recently decided to brief China on U.S. cyber weapons capabilities. In doing so, they expected a similar reporting from the Chinese. Well, not so much. This week, Chuck Hagel is in Beijing, and the issue is likely to be the elephant in the room. The defense secretary has a speech Tuesday at China's National Defense University. And if you want to take hurricane or snowstorm shopping to the next level, last weekend's National Preppers and Survivalist Expo offered a variety of disaster swag. There were tactical knives, water-purifying straws, and gun-proof tornado shelters, even playing cards and board games for something to do during the apocalypse.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm back, hopefully for good. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I've restarted my browser in case that's the problem. I'm going to run this class for a bit longer at the end because I've missed so much time, so apologies for that. If you're able to stay, and hopefully I'm able to stay. Okay, so can you guys all hear me now, okay?
Yes, I mean, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to just keep trying, guys. I have no idea why this is happening. I'll have to try and sort that out after class. But for now, what we'll do is just continue and hope that I can stay. So our topic today is India. Has anyone ever been to India?
No, Emmy.
No, I haven't either.
I never been
No. Has anyone been ever interested in going to India? Have you got it on your list of places to go in the future?
Oh yes, maybe one day I would like to go there.
Me too.
To visit this Tal Mahal.
The Taj Mahal.
Yeah, the Tal Mahal. It's beautiful.
It looks amazing, doesn't it? I agree. Alright, so what we usually do is we start off by reading a little intro, which I always get from Wikipedia. It just tells us a little bit about the country before we start. So let's see if John Carlo, could you read it for us? Are you able to see it in the chat box there?
Noemi, I can't see anything in the chat box. Let me see.
You can't? Okay, let me try pasting it into the Google chat box. That's in the Verbling. How about the Google one? Can you see it now?
A ver, let me check. Oh yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Okay, it says, India, officially the Republic of India, Bharat Ganrajya, is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area, the second most populous country with over 1.2 billion people, and the most populous democracy in the world, bounded by the Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal of the southeast. It shares land borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal, and Bhutan to the northeast, and Burma and Bangladesh to the east. In the Indian Ocean, India is in the vicinity of Sri Lanka and the Maldives. In addition, India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands share a maritime border with Thailand and Indonesia.
Great reading. Thank you, John Carlo. This word here is maritime. Maritime.
Maritime.
Yeah. Do we know what does maritime mean?
Yeah, by sea.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so that's a little bit of an introduction. I didn't realize that India was bordered by so many countries because I imagine it to just be in the sea, but I guess the top part of it has lots of borders. Here's the link to the article, everyone. So if you want to click on it, you can go ahead and do that now. And then I'm going to screen share so that we can all read along. together. So here we have, this is from BBC News website, and we've got 10 big facts about India. So take a look at the pictures. It's obviously a very diverse country. I think it's going to be interesting to find out what these 10 big facts are today. So as Giancarlo just started us off so beautifully, I'm going to ask Anton to continue. Anton, could you read this part here for us underneath the picture, please?
India often attracts generalizations and stereotyping, but more often it defies them. After all, it is an enormous and varied place with the genetic, linguistic, culinary, and sartorial diversity, which are usually found in a continent. Sam Miller, a former BBC Delhi correspondent who has spent more than half his adult life in India, has chosen 10 big facts about India.
Thank you, Anton. Great reading. Okay, so what we'll do, guys, is we'll take it in turns to read, and if you make any mistakes, I'll let you know. But so far, so great. And we'll talk about vocabulary as we go and discuss what we're reading. So is there anything that people don't understand in this section? Any words or phrases?
Sartorial.
Does anyone know what sartorial means? No? Basically, it has to do with clothing. So the clothes that people wear. So it's saying that the clothes in India are diverse. The clothing or the styles are diverse. Any others?
I have a question. On the second line, it says, "After all, it is an enormous and varied place with a genetic." What's the meaning of with a genetic, linguistic? I mean, with a genetic, Amy.
All right. So firstly, this word is varied. Varied.
Varied.
All of these adjectives here are referring to diversity, Giancarlo. So it's genetic diversity, linguistic diversity, culinary and sartorial diversity. Genetic has to do with the genes that we have. That's like our DNA.
Many races. Or
Yeah, exactly. So exactly right. It means many races, many ethnicities, people with different ethnic backgrounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So any other questions?
Sartorial diversity. Sartorial.
Yep, that means to do with clothing or clothes. So what people wear is very diverse as well.
Okay.
Is that clear? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? No? Oh, right. So it says at the beginning of this sentence, India often attracts generalizations and stereotyping. So before we start reading about the real facts, I just want to spend a few minutes, guys, and ask, what pops into your mind, or what do you think of straight away when someone says to you, India? Joseph, what do you think of?
I think that in India, many people are very poor.
Okay, so you think of lots of poor people?
A lot of poor people. That comes to my mind.
Yep. Anything else?
They have many ethnical diversity, like this paragraph said.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
beautiful places.
Yeah, so beautiful scenery and beautiful architecture and stuff, yeah?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let's say hi to Raphael quickly. Hey, Raphael. Are you there?
Hi, Amy.
Hi, we're just discussing what kind of things pop into our mind when we think about India. So what pops into your mind?
Well, a big country with lots of different people living there, many could be a mix of cultures, and I think they are very religious people. I think they're strongly linked to religion, and they have lots of traditions,
Okay. Yeah.
unique traditions about the people, and I think they love cows also.
Yeah. Definitely. So maybe you could say spiritual traditions as well, Raphael, because I think not only do they have like religion, but they have their own sort of spiritual things that they do that may not necessarily be related to a specific religion. I could be wrong, but that's sort of what I think of too. Bollywood, yes, thank you, Anton. Anton, well, apart from Bollywood, what do you think of?
Very hot weather,
Yeah.
almost without rains during all the year, and very huge rains during summer period.
Yeah, so the monsoon, yeah?
Yeah.
Does anyone think of curry? Because that's what I think of. Definitely curry springs to mind, and I'm a big curry fan. What do you think of, Giancarlo?
Well, what it comes to my mind is poverty, is
Mm-hmm.
people in danger. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, Amy, I think it's just a stereotype
Yeah.
because I've heard that many different films come India because I think it's the second. I don't remember if it is the second or third place in the world that
Mm-hmm.
produces films. And as you mentioned before, it's called Bollywood or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
Hollywood is in the United States,
Yeah.
but in India is Gollywood or Bollywood. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. With a B, Bollywood.
Bollywood, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Do you?
it talks about that India is a great place to live. I mean, they have a lot of culture, they have schooling, and there are brilliant people there in India because imagine producing films, it is not a small thing. I think it's an important thing because um, it talks about that people have maybe creativity and
Yeah.
interest in producing films.
Good point, Giancarlo. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. And do you watch any films that are made in India? Any Bollywood films?
No, 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 no. So far, no, I haven't
No.
seen.
I
Yes,
can't say I have either.
Yeah, I
Amy,
think, I'm sorry, Amy. I think I saw one that got an Oscar or something like that. I don't remember. It is Slim Dog, Slim Dog, Long Dog,
Slumdog
or something.
Millionaire. Mm-hmm.
A Slumdog Millionaire. I saw this. I saw this film. I saw it. Well, personally, to be honest, I didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but they produced it. I think so. They directed. I don't know. They directed
Um,
it. I don't remember.
yeah, actually, I believe that it was a British director, Giancarlo,
Mm.
because he's quite famous in the UK. Um, I don't know where they. I guess yeah, that could be something we could look up. Anton seems to be quite knowledgeable. Anton, what are you saying here about Bollywood? It's only a Hindi language film industry. Is that right?
Bollywood, yeah. There are also Tamil language and Telugu language and some other languages. There are a lot
Ah,
of languages,
oh,
especially in the south.
absolutely. Oh, okay. So they have different names.
As,
I
as
get it.
far as far as I know, Hindi is widely spoken in northern and central part, and in the south there are other languages.
Okay. Thanks, Anton. I think Joseph was going to say something about Bollywood films. Am I right?
okay, me. My mother see a lot of this kind of movies, but
Does she like them?
they are very dramatic and they talk long to end. But
They're long.
3 or 4 hours to,
Wow, that is long.
yeah, I don't like these movies.
To be honest, Joseph, I think I might agree with you. I don't know if I could cope with that long. But they're definitely popular with some people.
Eh,
Raphael, have you ever watched one? a Bollywood movie?
And they are very, very dramatic.
Oh, they're really dramatic, are they?
Yeah.
No, I've never watched a Bollywood movie.
Neither have I. Well, maybe we'll have to do this as an exploration sometime since
Yes,
we've done this class.
probably.
All right, so let's get back to reading. The first point is that it's a populous state. So, Joseph, please could you read for us from below the picture?
Yeah. India's population will overtake China's in 2028, according to UN estimates. India will become the most populous country in the world in just 14 years' time, when it will have about 1.45 billion inhabitants. For many in India, becoming the most populous country will be an achievement, marking the country's progress in its rivalry with China. For others, particularly from the older generations, it represents a failure of the country's decades-old attempts to bring its population under control, which included a controversial and counterproductive mass sterilization campaign during the 1970s. In fact, birth rates have fallen significantly almost all parts of India, driven by female education, rising household incomes, and greater availability of contraception, though this has been partially offset by increased life expectancy. India's population is likely to reach about 1.6 billion in the 2060s, before decreasing to about 1.5 billion by the end of the century. By then, according to the UN study, Nigeria may have overtaken China as the second most populous country.
Great reading. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, let's go through just a couple of words. From the top, this one is estimates, not estimates, estimates.
Estimates.
Correct. Estimate is the verb, so to estimate something, but the noun is the estimate. Okay?
Estimates.
Yeah, perfect. And then here we have rivalry with China.
Rivalry.
Good. This one here is
Rivalry.
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 Yes. Then we have control. So the emphasis is on the second syllable, control.
Control.
Yeah, that's better. And the last one is driven. I'm just trying to find where that is now. There it is. Driven by.
Driven by.
Great, well done. All right, so let's see. Raphael, can you tell me what's this saying? What did we just learn?
About the population in India, they are growing. They'll probably overtake China in 14 years.
Yep.
In the next 14 years, and they are, for some people, it could be. Some people think this can be good for the country, but on the other hand, other people can have a different opinion that it can bring harms to the population there.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about Brazil, Raphael, what do people, is population an issue in your country? Is it talked about at all or not?
How can I say, the growing population,
Yeah.
Yes, it started to become a concern because the cities, especially the biggest cities, are becoming, the life standards in the biggest cities are becoming worse day after day. So mostly because there are so many people living in a big amount of space. No, sorry, so many people living in a small amount of space, so it's complicated.
Yeah.
The people distribution here, it's inefficient. There are so many places with lots of space with no one, and other places like the big cities, and everyone loves to live in a big city, but it's complicated mostly because some problems due infrastructure problems and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite, I suppose people go to the cities because they want jobs and to have services and stuff. Is that right?
Yes, yes, they think they will find better jobs and a better life standard, but
Yeah.
it's not what is happening right now. We start to at least here we're starting to look the opposite movement. People are trying looking for to live in those big cities. At least here where I live, Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, the biggest cities.
Mhm.
People are looking for a live in these big
Yeah.
cities.
I'm looking at leaving, Raphael. I'm looking at leaving.
Absolutely, okay.
Yeah. Let's say hi to Joao. Hi.
Hi, teacher.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
I'm great, thank you. Joao, you're from Brazil as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Did you hear what Raphael was just saying?
Some of things I could not hear everything,
Okay, so
but
we're talking. Yeah?
okay. No. Move on.
I was just saying that we're just reading about India, and one of the things we talked about is that its population is growing and it's likely to overtake China's population in sort of like, I don't know, 20, when was it? 2028 or something? So Raphael was telling us about the population in Brazil and how it's sort of a problem. There's too many people living in your cities. Do you live in the city?
Yes, I live in a country of one state of here of Brazil. Like capital or capital of some state of a state.
Okay. Is it busy? Is it crowded?
It's kind of. We have 1 million people living here.
Okay. And do you find it stressful, or do you find it quite good, the number of people?
Sometimes it's very difficult, like the car traffic. It's something horrible to take,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and a lot of problems of different. How can I say that? Different for people. Some family get more, and others get nothing, almost nothing. Could you understand what I mean? Something
Yeah,
so different talking about money.
Yeah. The distribution is unequal, yeah?
Unequal. The distribution is unequal. It's it's a big problem that I really can see in the country, in my country.
All right. Thank you. It's good to find out about places, especially from people who really live there and, are part of that country. So that's one of the cool things about Birdling, I think. All right, so India's population is going to keep on growing. It's kind of shocking. Let's move on to the second point and find out what's next. So this is India was once an island. And I'm going to ask John Carlo, can you read, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
India was once a continent more than 100 million years ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Most of what is now India was an island. It had broken off from an ancient supercontinent referred to as Gondwana
Gondwanaland.
that thing by paleogeographers, named after Gondwana, a forested area of central India. was moving slowly northwards.
Keep going.
About 50 million years ago, dinosaurs by now extinct, the India continental plate collided with Asia, bucking the coastal area of both continents and creating the Himalayas, the world's youngest major mountain range, and of course, the highest.
One more paragraph.
Evidence of this ancient history is provided by fossilized sea shells that can still be found high in the mountains. The plate on which the subcontinent rests continues to press slowly northwards, and is the reason why the height of Mount Everest increases slightly every year.
Great, thanks, Giancarlo. Let's look at a couple of words here. So this one here is roamed the earth.
Roamed
yes.
the earth.
This is Himalayas, the Himalayas.
Himalayas.
Good. And this one here is fossilized.
Fossilized.
Good. And then the last one, you corrected yourself, but just to remind you, you said it right second time, height.
Height.
Great. All right, so there's a list, might be some vocab here. Do we want to go through any words, guys?
Buckling.
To buckle. Does anyone know? Yeah, so buckling is from the verb here, to buckle. Do you know what to buckle means, anyone?
No, buckling.
Buckling or bucklet?
Okay, here, let me type it in the chat box to clarify. Buckling is from the verb to buckle. There you go. If something buckles, how am I going to describe this? It sort of bends. It bends. So, what's the context here? The coastal area, it buckles. It means it bends. Normally, it's not a very good thing. It's something you don't want to happen. I'm trying to think of an example, but it's not a very common verb. So, I'm going to put to bend. If I think of an example, I'll get back to you. Any other questions? While we're talking about the word buckle, there is another meaning for buckle, and it's, for example, the thing that you connect your seatbelt to in the car, the thing that you clip in, that's a buckle. Or it could be something on a belt, so the bit which has the little metal bit which you use to fasten your belt is also called a buckle. So it has other usages, just to point that out. Do we know what a fossil is? Does anyone know?
Fossilized is when something is dry or gets dry.
Yes, sort of. It basically means that it's preserved. Something's preserved for lots and lots and lots of years. So a fossil will be like a preserved animal shell from, like, I don't know, 1 million years ago or something.
Like the dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. So dinosaur fossils are the preserved bits of dinosaurs that we find and put in museums. Here we've got seashells. Any other words? No? Okay, so which out of, I don't know, I'm not good at geography, but who has mountains in their country? Anton, do you have mountains in Ukraine?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
What mountains are they, Anton?
Carpathian, something like that.
Have you ever been to them?
Not actually. It's in the west of my country. Yeah, but I'd like to visit it one time.
Yeah, absolutely. How tall? Are they very tall mountains or relatively little ones?
Well, they're quite tall, but definitely not so tall as Everest or Himalayas.
Yeah, no one beats no mountain range can beat the Himalayas. That's true.
My country, I have many mountains.
What mountains are they, Joseph?
The Andes.
Yes, it's a really long mountain range, isn't it?
Yes. I think the bigger or the tallest mountain is 6,500 meters.
Wow.
Above the sea level. I'm not sure, but it is something like that. It is called Huascarán.
Okay. Have you been to it?
Yes, actually, I've been working there.
You've worked there?
Yeah. In one of not in the mountain, but near the mountain. Because
what were you doing?
We have a lot of resources there. We extract these resources from these mountains. A lot of silver mines in this part of my country.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes,
excellent.
I was working there.
And what were you doing, Joseph? Were you involved in mining?
No, I was working in the mineral dressing plant. It is not. It is not in the mountain, but it is near the mountain.
Okay.
It's very close. I can see the mountain every day.
Was it cold? Snowy?
Yes, it is very cold. Cold. I used to wear thermal clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. To keep warm when you're working. Gosh, interesting. What about you, Giancarlo? Tell us, are there any mountains?
Yes, teacher. In fact, Mexico City is founded among mountains. Some scientists used to say, see that Mexico City is like a pot because Mexico City is all surrounded by mountains, and when the weather is cold here in Mexico, we have some pollution problems because the hot air is below and the cold air is above, so it's like a pot. And in fact, we have different mountains in close to Mexico City. The first one is the Popocatépetl, and the Popocatépetl is next to Puebla. There is a state, and the elevation is 5,426 meters. It means in feet it's 17,802 feet.
Wow.
Exactly. In this moment, we have had different problems about the Popocatépetl because it how do you say, it has erupted. No, it gives eruptions. It erupted, but it erupts, but it has been erupting several times since since 20 something like that. So the people who lives there in Puebla sometimes is nervous about it because the tremors, it provokes tremors at night or during the day, and all the people must be sent to different places to be safe.
Evacuated.
Exactly. Some people need to be evacuated because of the Popocatépetl eruptions.
Wow, so it's actually a volcano, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is a volcano, right.
So we have lots of volcanoes here where I live in Auckland. In fact, I think I can't remember how many. The whole city is built on volcanoes, but they're not erupting. Most of them are extinct, so that's good. But there is one which is dormant, If it's dormant, it means that it could erupt again, but it hasn't erupted for quite a while. But your Popocatépetl, is that how you say it, is an active volcano by the sounds of things, Giancarlo.
Yeah, it is active now.
Yeah.
So all the cameras, all night, all day long, they are on because of any different
to monitor, right? To monitor
or how do you say that?
Yeah.
To monitor
any eruptions or
to monitor
events.
the Popocatépetl.
Mhm. Wow, and
Exactly.
you've just been to Puebla, right, on holiday?
I'm sorry?
Did you say that you went to Puebla on holiday? You mentioned at the beginning of class.
Yeah, I went to Puebla. Yes, I was there in Puebla. And in fact, teacher, I was a little bit nervous to go to Puebla because I knew that the Popocatépetl is active. So I said, oh my goodness. And by the way, there was a tremor here in Mexico City 20 days ago, and it was terrible, terrible, terrible. So it was an earthquake. It was 7 point something Richter.
Wow.
So it was hard. Yeah.
Gosh.
Nature is nature.
Absolutely. Oof. Well, you came back safely from Puebla. That's at least that, Giancarlo. Good. I'm glad. So we can have you in our verbling class. Let's see. João, tell us about Brazil. Are there any mountains in Brazil? I know that you have an amazing forest and rivers.
We have. Actually, we have a lot of. I'm not a teacher, but I'm not so good with the geographies, and so I don't know how if I can say the same mountain who has in Mount Everest has here in Brazil. I don't know, but in Brazil we have a different kind. It's depend on the place that you are,
Yeah.
but. The place that I live, it's how can I say, I don't know how can I say that in English. It's plain. I don't have
It's flat.
height.
It's flat.
Flat means without some mountains.
Yeah.
So it's flat here, the place that I live. But in Brazil has a lot of places which has something like that.
So maybe hills, because hills are smaller than mountains, yeah?
Yes.
All right. Rafael, do you agree with João? Is he right?
Yes, we don't have mountains here in Brazil, just some hills, you know. Actually, the geology here in Brazil, it's very old, you know. We don't... our tectonic plates here, we don't have... they are not in current activity. So that's one of the reasons we don't have earthquakes here, not even volcanoes.
Okay, so I think what you mean is that you don't have any fault lines, Rafael.
Fault lines, okay.
Yeah, those are the gaps or the join between tectonic plates, yeah?
Yes.
So, for example, if two tectonic plates join together, the line that runs along between them is called a fault line.
Yes, because Brazil is located almost exactly in the middle of tectonic plates, so that's why you don't have this.
How many? Oh, that's good. That's lucky. In New Zealand, we're right on top of one, so we often have events. You've probably heard of. We had a big earthquake in a city called Christchurch a few years ago. And so New Zealand's got lots of tectonic activity happening all the time. Kind of scary sometimes if you think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of scary thing.
But you have evacuation procedures and something like that?
Yes, but generally with earthquakes, like I think volcano, they give you more warning because you can monitor them more, like as Giancarlo was saying, but with earthquakes, sometimes they just come, you know, and you can't anticipate them, so evacuating is sometimes not possible. You just have to we have like drills. A drill is a practice, yeah? So fire drill, earthquake drill, where the children at school have to go under their desks, put their hands on top of their head, which is what you have to do if an earthquake hits. But there's not really much preparation.
Yeah.
Drill
Yeah.
means
And
a place. No. Sorry.
Okay, one at a time, one at a time. So yeah, drill does mean a practice. A fire drill is a practice of what to do if there's a fire, okay?
So it's something. It's something like looking for some kind of safe place to stay. It's something like that.
So, for example, if you have a fire drill at school, the fire alarm will go off, woo, 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 and then you have to go outside and line up on the field, and then the teacher will take the roll and say, is everybody here? That's a fire drill, okay? And an earthquake drill, you practice going under the desks and putting your head and your hand, protecting your head with your hand, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue.
Teacher,
yes.
Excuse me, teacher, and guys, I just want to comment anything about tremors, because as I said before, here in Mexico there was a tremor 20 days ago.
Yeah.
All the things that we must know before, and sometimes they don't work, because last time we had a tremor here. I tried to open my door, my house door, and I couldn't do that because the tremor was so hard that I couldn't stay on. So sometimes it is impossible to make a decision when there has been different dead people, because it's impossible to act and to react when the tremor is high.
Yeah, so when the tremor is severe, Giancarlo, okay?
Severe.
So, yeah, your connection just sort of dipped a moment ago, Giancarlo. I think I heard what you were saying. Tell me if I'm wrong, but when an earthquake hits, it's sometimes so sudden and so severe that it's impossible to actually do anything. Is that what you were saying?
Exactly, that's the point. It's impossible to do anything, because it's impossible to move, in fact. It's impossible to make a decision. It's impossible to be ready to act.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. That happened here in Christchurch, Giancarlo, and that's why lots of people unfortunately died and lots of people were injured. It's just something, nature, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so interesting discussion, everybody. I think I'm going to take, as I said before, because of the disruption at the beginning of class, I'm going to keep running this class for another 10 minutes. So do feel like if you would like to leave, you can. If you would like to stay, I'll be here. So we'll read one more point. Multilingual. So I'll get Anton to read some of this and stop you halfway through, Anton, okay?
Before 1961?
From here, India has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
India has arguably greater linguistic diversity than any other large country. The precise number of languages spoken in India is probably over 1,000, but it is often hard to define when one language begins and another ends. That's all?
Keep going a little bit. Keep going.
The 1961 census of India listed 1,652 languages, though some of these may have effectively been dialects, and a few languages have died out since then. The big six languages, Hindi, Bengali, Telugu, Marathi, Tamil, and Urdu, are each spoken by more than 50 million people. A total of 122 languages are each spoken by more than 10,000 people.
Thank you, Anton. Beautifully read. Raphael, could you continue, please?
India doesn't have a national language. Hindi and English are both official languages, though the writers of the constitution envisaged a transitional status for English. But opposition to Hindi hegemony from speakers of other languages, particularly Tamil, mean that English remains an official language. Indian languages belong to four of the world's major language groups: Indo-European, Dravidian, Austroasiatic, and Tibeto-Burman.
Thank you, Raphael. And I'll just get Joao to read the last part.
Okay. Me?
Yes, Joao, please.
Okay. Until the mid-20th century, the Bantu or Benlu, I couldn't see it right. Bantu language group, which originated in Africa, was also represented by speakers of the city language used by immigrants from East Africa living in Western India. The language has now died out, though members of the city community still use a few words of Bantu origin.
Thank you. Really great reading today, everybody. Well done. Okay, I've got no comments to make about that. Obviously, there's quite a few tricky language-related words, the names of languages, but apart from that, I think it's okay. Are there any questions about vocab?
No.
About the pronunciation, did I say correct? Envisaged?
Yep, correct. Envisage.
Okay.
Do you know what envisaged means, Raphael?
Predict?
Yeah, sort of. It's sort of between predict or maybe imagine. It's like thinking of it in your head sort of thing. Any other questions? No? Okay, I think this topic about countries being multilingual is amazing because I think a lot of countries have more than one language. Let's see if we can talk about our own countries for a moment. Joseph, tell us about your country. Do you have any other languages apart from Spanish?
The other language that we talk here is called Quechua.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, but it is not. This language is only talk.
Used.
What did you say? Excuse me?
Either only used by or only spoken by.
It's only spoken in rural areas.
Uh-huh.
I don't know too much about this language.
That's okay. Is it an official language as well as Spanish?
I think it is unofficial because a lot of people talk this language in these areas that are far away from the big cities.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is official. Sure.
Okay. If, for example, Joseph, if I came to your country, would say road signs be in Spanish or in Quechuan or both?
Excuse me. Can you repeat, please?
Sure. I'm asking whether, for example, if I come to your country and I'm driving along, what language will the road signs be in? Do you know what I mean by road signs? Like the signs that you see on the road telling you where you are, which cities are coming up, that type of thing.
Yes, it will be in Spanish.
Okay, so no Quechua.
No, I don't think so. Wherever I travel, I see that these road signs are in Spanish.
All right. What about place names? Do you have place names? Like some cities called are called words which are from the Quechuan language? Or is place names tend to be in Spanish? or Spanish names?
No, no. There are many places that are named in Quechua.
Okay, that's
Actually,
very cool.
where I was working,
Yeah.
This small town was called Pachapaki.
Yeah.
I don't know the meaning of this word, but it is in Quechua, I think.
Yeah. All right. That's very cool.
Something like that. There are many places that people who live there call not in Spanish but in Quechua.
Mhm. All
Yeah.
right. Wow, that's really interesting, actually. Let's ask Anton. Anton, are there what languages are spoken in the Ukraine?
The official language is Ukrainian, but because of a long history of Russian occupation and what you call Russification, yeah, there are a lot of Russian spoken also.
And do you speak
Actually,
Russian?
yeah, the place where I live, actually 99% probably speak Russian.
Okay, so when you say that, do they speak Russian like at school, at work, or?
Yeah, they use it everywhere, but
Oh, okay.
official documents all in Ukrainian.
And what about TV? Is that in Ukrainian or Russian?
It's I think it's both.
Okay.
Usually, like news in Ukrainian mostly, and but if some, for example, TV series or movie is in Russian, it's in Russian.
Oh, wow. Would you say
So,
that all Ukrainians can speak Russian as well?
yeah, I think 100%.
Wow, that's really
And
interesting.
and also everyone, I think, knows Ukrainian, but not everyone speak it.
All right, so everyone can understand it, but not necessarily like use it at home, for example.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so amazing how history affects language and your country and everything. What about Brazil, guys? Rafael? Are you still there?
Well, our main language is the Portuguese,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some languages, mostly indigenous languages, when they keep when they keep using this language nowadays, and it was recognized by Constitution due in respect to their culture, in the indigenous culture.
Yep. Can regular Brazilians like you and Joao speak any indigenous words or
No.
not
Just
really?
just a little part, just a few, just them can only in specific places, in specific some states when they live. I think some schools also teach these languages, but it's only specific place.
All right.
It's
Same
true.
with you, Joao?
The name of my state is a kind of engineer. How can I say that?
Indigenous.
Indigenous name. Piauí. It's the name of my state. So you have a lot of things colored with this language, but it's not official. Just a kind of respect for this group of people who were at first time in Brazil before Portuguese guys being here.
Yeah.
And that's it. But you have a lot of influence nowadays. English here. It's if you look to some kind of store, you will be seeing something right in English, or our market is called shopping. So English has a lot of influence here.
Okay. Wow. So how about the indigenous people? This is to Rafael and Joao. Do they also speak Portuguese, or do they only speak their indigenous languages?
Kind of. Some of them speak also Portuguese, but I have heard. I'm not sure about that information. There are some of these people who are only speaking their own language. But I think it's more difficult to find because with this globalization and education, and they are learning more Portuguese to be more socializable. I don't know, socializable. To be
Sociable?
more sociable. Yeah, something like that.
Yes,
Alright.
most indigenous people speak Portuguese, but there are some tribes. They live isolated in the forest.
Yeah.
So they barely have contact with the white man, you know, and
Mhm.
they don't have contact with the society in general. So they don't have access to learn Portuguese, and they don't speak Portuguese even nowadays.
I think that sometimes, like in our countries, Rafael and Joao, we see like we see a lot of documentaries on the Amazon and Amazon tribes and stuff, and I guess those are the tribes you're talking about, right? The ones who are cut off, who just live in the forest by themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah, it could be in an Amazon or in different places, like in south of Brazil, we have some kind of group who are isolated also.
Oh,
Not
really?
only in
Isolated.
yeah, isolated not only in Amazon.
Yeah. All right. Wow, it's so interesting. Okay, what about Giancarlo? Tell us, Giancarlo.
Yeah, the official language in Mexico is Spanish, but there are around 67 local languages, including Nahuatl. I remember a teacher when I was studying university. There was a language center, and the group of French full of students, Italian full of students, English full of students, Nahuatl 2 or 3 students. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello, teacher.
Teacher.
Teacher. You went away, teacher. Come on. Come back. Don't run away.
She left.
Yeah, she
Oh,
left.
poor thing of us.
I was trying, you know, guys, I was trying to do my best with my English, and the teacher didn't hear me.
I could see that you were speaking in Spanish and trying to be more clear.
Yeah. I was trying to polish up my English, and the teacher disappeared. Oh.
Oh, she's back. Welcome to the Verbalin teacher.
Thanks, guys.
This only happened with class, Amy.
I know, why? Every time Giancarlo talks, I disappear.
Sorry.
Giancarlo, and I was so interested, and I was thinking it was you who was cut off, and then suddenly, tell me, I only heard something like, there are 67, what were you saying?
Yeah, the official language is Spanish in Mexico, and there are around 67 local languages, including Nahuatl. And I remember, teacher, when I was at the university, there was a language center there, and there were many different classes, French classes, and the room full of students. Are you there, teacher? Oh my goodness, no. Well, guys, thanks very much for coming to my class.
Oh my god.
She's frozen again. It's impossible.
Oh gosh.
Maybe next time, Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh gosh. I would like you on
So,
the Verbalin.
Amy,
Uh, okay, sorry.
well, yeah, well, Amy, I'm gonna develop my idea because maybe you can see the recorded class. So I want to tell you that there was a language center there in the at the university, and there were different classes: French, Italian, English, Nahuatl, and of course the French class full of students, the Italian class full of students, the English class full of students, and the Nahuatl class one or two students. It was a pity. And Nahuatl is spoken here in Mexico as a local language. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. I hope to I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Giancarlo,
Bye,
I
guys.
cannot
Giancarlo.
understand.
Yeah,
Giancarlo,
yeah, yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
Giancarlo, I
yeah,
could not
yeah.
understand. You are saying in the last thing you are talking about the language that are a few people. What this language?
Nahuatl.
Because
I'm
you
gonna.
said in English it's full of the students. Italian is full of the student. French or something like that is full of the student. But some kind of this language is has no one,
No,
almost no one. What's the language?
no, no one attending the class, and no one learning Nahuatl. I typed it on the Google chat. That's Nahuatl. It's a local language here in Mexico, in the south of Mexico.
Um,
But yeah, Nahuatl. Can you see the word Nahuatl?
Yes, now what? Strange, I never heard
Nahuatl.
about this language.
Yeah.
now what? I never heard this name before. Now
Yeah.
what?
Nahuatl. Well,
Has this
okay.
language has some influence of I don't know how can I say in English or I will say in my Portuguese pronunciation, Incas and Mayas or something like that.
Mayas, los mayas, los
Yes,
incas.
this or Incas. There are are there some influence of them in this language in now what this language I don't know how can pronounce it.
Nahuatl.
Now what? Now what is there are some influence in now what language?
Yeah, yes,
Aztec
of course.
or
Yeah, the Aztec
oh
language and the Nahuatl language.
Okay,
Yeah, okay, guys. Maybe next time we'll talk about languages because it's very interesting. So
yes, it's awesome.
I need to take another class. See you soon, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye people.
Bye.
Oh, Ethan, you are I was so interested when you were talking about um
Yeah.
Ukrainian language and the Russian language. They are both in your country. I'm right?
Yeah, yeah. And very
But
wide spoken.
everybody in Ukraine can understand Russian language and Ukrainian language, both of them,
Yeah, both of them.
and they speak also this language, both of this language.
Well, usually who speak Russian don't speak Ukrainian, but they can understand it.
In its school, what kind of language is teachings for the student?
In school, Ukrainian.
Ukrainian, not is teaching Russian at school.
I think when I was at school, it was studied, but as for now, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not talking about your situation, but in general, all the students they are learning Russian at school or Ukrainian language in general.
And actually, Ukrainian is like obligatory subject.
Obligatory.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Russian is like you can choose it, but you have a choice.
Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you for your information. It's very interesting because I've heard a lot of things from Ukraine because Putin would like Ukraine to be how can I say that to be Russian place and I could hear a lot of things, a kind of almost a war. And when you
there
said
are
something,
some
when you
confrontation.
confrontation, I could I almost say, oh my God, it will be turning a confrontation because they are discussing all the time about that. And when you were talking about Russia or Ukraine, I could see some kind of interesting points to learn. Thank you for your information.
It's okay.
Bye, Alton. Your name is Alton?
Anton.
Anton. So, bye,
Yeah.
Anton. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.